One of my favorite things is when video games include some sort of custom server builder, map builder, experience type builder, just in general, anything of that nature. It's so much fun to see just how creative some people can be. We obviously know about Halo Forged, we know about different sorts of modded server experiences. These sorts of things are really cool to see in video games because creativity is just oftentimes endless and people recreate some really cool stuff in these sorts of experiences. And Battlefield 6 obviously has Portal, which is pretty much its take on this sort of customized experience type creator. So today, basically my goal is to share with you guys what my favorite Portal experiences that I got to try are. Basically the criteria that I went in with are either it's fun or it's useful in some capacity to help you improve at certain things in the game. So before we do that, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications set to all so you don't miss out on any of the Battlefield 6 content here in the channel, and let's just dive right on into it. So the first Portal server here is Helicopter and Jet Practice, and this one is really great if you don't know how to fly in this game yet, or if you struggle with flying either helicopters or jets. It's basically just an open arena on the Operation Firestorm map. You can get into either a jet or a helicopter, practice flying around, strategize, try out the weapons. Basically, if there's other players as well, you can kind of learn how to maneuver around other air vehicles. This is really great because one of the more difficult things in Battlefield 6 so far has been the air vehicles. A lot of people have struggled with these. A lot of people find that these are just really difficult, and also the controls are really different compared to maybe what you're used to. So if you've played GTA 5 before, I know that game's controls are pretty well known for air vehicles, and Battlefield 6 just doesn't really have that sort of system. It's a lot more difficult, I found, than GTA 5. So this was a really nice thing for me because it was actually really helpful in preparing for another Portal server that I'll be sharing in this video as well. It also really makes it so that you kind of have the confidence to go in and actually use those air vehicles in this game because it's easy to crash, to get out of bounds. So if you are struggling with either of these two air vehicles, this is a great server to actually try all of these out. There is a separate server if you want to try the Little Birds, but the Little Bird is not in this server. This is just mostly for whatever base kind of air vehicles are already in Battlefield 6, and the RedSec helicopter is not in this server either. But personally, I really like this server because it was just really helpful at learning how to maneuver with those air vehicles. So the code for this one, if you want to try it out, is 6GVY. So use that code if you want to try Helicopter and Jet Practice. This is a really good one. If you're still struggling with air vehicles, you can probably try it on keyboard, mouse, or controller, whatever input you want to use. This one is very much true to its name. It's extremely chaotic, but this one is also extremely fun. I really enjoyed this one, and personally, I could play this one for a long time. So basically what this one is like is you have two teams, and each team has a set number of lives, kind of similar to if you've played any of the Battlefield 6 modes where you kind of have to deplete lives. Now, the goal isn't to deplete the other team's lives, but to make it to the end, or to make it as far as you possibly can before the timer runs out or before your team's lives run out, to reach basically the end. That's the whole point of this one, but it's really difficult because as you're climbing up this ascending bridge kind of a thing, there are vehicles just being chucked at you from all directions. There's jets that randomly fly into the bridge and explode. There are tanks, ATVs, everything you can think of. Some players will even get onto the vehicles. This is a pretty chaotic mode, but this is 100% something that you would play just for fun. You do get match completion XP, I believe, with this one, but honestly, I didn't even care for the match completion XP type stuff. This was just a lot of fun. You might have seen this before in something like GTA 5, but it's really a cool one here in Battlefield 6. The mechanics work really well for it. You parachute off the headquarters onto this ascending bridge, and you just kind of have to keep running and avoid those vehicles. And as you'll see, you might think it sounds easy, but it is definitely not a very easy one, but it's a lot of fun. So I really recommend this one, and the code for Chaos Climb is ZX45F. The next one here is Duck Hunt, or basically runners versus snipers. This is a really unique one and one of the more creative ones, and I really enjoyed this one a lot. So basically how this mode works is you are either the duck or the sniper, or a runner or a sniper. So this is very similar to if you've ever been to like a county fair or anything like that, you might have played something like this before. But basically if you're the sniper, you kind of have a look at this sort of giant structure, and there are these runners or the ducks, and your goal is to take out out as many ducks as possible. And if you're one of the ducks or the runners, your goal is to make it to the end without basically dying. That's the whole point. You don't want to get attacked by the snipers and you don't want to fall. So it's a really unique one, really cool, and it's really clever. Honestly, when I saw this one for the first time, I thought it was one of the funniest things I'd ever seen, and I couldn't believe that something like this could be played in Battlefield 6. But this is genuinely fun and it's pretty active almost all the time, I noticed. So if you want something fun to kind of relax with after kind of losing your mind in Conquest or anything like that, I definitely recommend Duck Hunt. The code for this one is YT6XX. Alright, next up is Ace Pursuit. So you know how I mentioned at the beginning with the helicopter and jet practice that it's really helpful for another Portal server? Well, here it is. Ace Pursuit is basically you get in a jet and you have to go through these markers and you have to complete this sort of narrow flight path through these mountains and make it to the end within a set period of time. This is a great next step after the helicopter and jet practice server because I personally found that you can get even more practice with the jet, and not only do you get practice with the jets, but you really get to hone in your skills with maneuverability, with kind of doing some cool tricks in the air, and with really figuring out how to avoid mountainsides, obstacles, things like that. So I found that this was a really cool one and I thought this was a lot of fun. You can play against other people and sometimes some people will attack each other, sometimes more people are just kind of focused on finishing the course, but really it's a fun one because it really does help hone in your jet skills, and you also get to kind of experience what happens if you go out of bounds and how to maneuver back in. You have to actually go through each marker when it turns green and you won't be able to go past that. Basically, it's not going to let you complete it, so to speak, if you don't go through the green markers. So they're kind of like checkpoints. This is a great server and I personally found that it was a lot of fun to use and to actually practice the jet on. So hopefully next time I load into Conquest, I actually can use a jet or something and not crash it this time. Like the one time I tried using the helicopter, which isn't the jet, but still, it was the one time I used an air vehicle and I crashed within seconds and I decided maybe I don't want to do that. So hopefully now I'll be able to do that. The code for Ace Pursuit is X8XB. Now I've personally saved the best for last. This is my favorite Portal server. I think I played this one the most while I was trying to get some footage for this video, but this Portal server is called RPGs versus Golf Carts, and it's basically what it sounds like. You've got two teams, you've got people who have RPGs and you have people who have golf carts. So you've got this kind of arena. It looks almost like sort of like a skate park type of a setup where you've got just a ramp and it goes up into the safe zone for the golf carts, and then you've got the center section where there's some open space and a platform in the middle. So there's two teams. One team are the RPGs and the other team drive the golf carts. As the rounds progress, you swap sides so you do get a chance to do both. Basically, the people with the RPGs, the goal is to take out as many golf carts as you can, and the people with the golf carts, your job is to take out as many of the RPG users as you can. But the thing is, the golf carts, you can respawn as many times as possible so long as there are RPG people, but the RPGs, once you're taken out by a golf cart, you're done. You kind of have to go wait for everybody else or for the round to end effectively. So the goal is to basically knock out the other side as much as you can. This one is one of the more fun Portal servers that I tried that I definitely think was really cool. I think this was also in GTA 5 as well. This server is definitely one of the more kind of funny ones that you can try, and I think that you should go for it because it's just really fun. I didn't really have anything negative to say about this one in any capacity. This was really cool. Everybody kind of engages really well in this mode as well, and also kind of something that you can do with this one is to practice your driving skills and to practice your skill with the RPGs, especially if you're not used to being an engineer in this game. You can kind of practice that stuff in this game mode. Honestly, the fact that there are golf carts in Battlefield 6 is probably one of the best things they could have added, for no other reason other than it's funny. Something I really liked about this mode in particular is once you're out, or basically when you're waiting for the round to start, there is a giant section with just a blank bunch of walls, and everybody is an engineer, so you get the engineer repair tool. And if you know anything about what people do with the engineer repair tool, a lot of them write on walls in the game. So everybody was obviously writing stuff, and I decided I wanted to be creative. I wanted to do something no one else had done. So I drew a tic-tac-toe board and other people played with me, so that was kind of cool. So basically there's a lot of just kind of fun community aspects to this mode and to a lot of these Portal modes. And the server code for RPGs versus golf carts is Z85X9, so do go try it out. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, that's kind of my list for my favorite Portal servers that I found. There were some other ones that unfortunately some some of them didn't really seem to work, or there weren't really any players for me to kind of try it with. I do recommend that you guys try these Portal servers out on your own. They're a lot of fun. Do let me know in the comments below if there are other Portal servers that you've tried that are a lot of fun as well. Hopefully more people can come up with these really cool creative kind of modes, because they're definitely a lot of fun to play and a nice break from the standard loop of Battlefield 6. But yeah, leave a like, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications set to all so you don't miss out on another upload. And that's all for today, folks.